welcome to the Eden Experience. We are so glad that you decided to join us on today. So we have something to talk about. Actually, I think we're going to pick up from our last conversation of talking about family. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, we went on this conversation spiel about family, right?
Yes, sir.
And we talked about, what family is and how family is important to us. And we kind of left off on the benefits of family,
Right.
and how we raise our girls, right?
Yep.
I love with the family aspect, or with how we raise our girls, that we take them and we try to figure out what works for us. We tend to, look at the individual child and try to groom them, how God designed them. So even from birth, I know growing up, I know we've had this conversation before.
Yep.
Growing up for us, it was no, you're gonna be a doctor, or you have the voice to speak, so you're gonna be a speaker. Things like that, which puts a stigma on our kids of that's what I have to be.
Yep.
And it's not allowing them to be who God has created them to be.
Right.
Because we, as parents, want them to be a certain way.
Yeah, and I think sometimes when we do that to our kids, it makes them feel like, if I don't do this, then mommy, daddy won't be proud of me. And they say, you're going to be a lawyer. We need a lawyer in this family. You're going to be a doctor. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be this. And if we decide, we feel, and we going through life, and we're like, I'm not really feeling that. In the back of our minds, we know our parents are so rah, that you want you to do this. You may feel like a little bit that you let them down. So like you were saying, for our family, we do something a little bit different. We kind of watch our girls and learn them.
Right, and we've since probably the age of 2, we've watched them, because that's when their attitudes, you can see the attitudes are coming out, and especially when they start saying the no's and I don't want to, and all those things, the things they're picking up, right?
Yep.
We started just watching that, and we started watching their demeanor. When you tell them no, we have one, we tell her no, she cries. But our other one, you tell her no, she gonna go and do it anyway.
Watch me. Watch me. You say no, okay, I bet you I can. Yeah, that's ooh, woo. Yes.
So we had to learn their character, learn who God had designed them to be, and nurture that, and love on them through that.
Yeah, because I think between the three, we got one who you'll meet soon. She is the superstar, right? So she is going to be on somebody's TV, somebody's something. We've seen
she
that.
Loves the camera,
she loves the camera. We've seen that from she was young. So we nurtured that, right? So we got all the costumes, and we got all the karaoke and all those things that nurture that gift and something that she wants to do. And then we got another one who's athlete, if there ever was an athlete. She's going to run faster than you, do more push-ups than you, do more sit-ups than you. It's just she has that.
I remember with that one.
Yep.
When she was probably about 3. I worked out all the time, and I still do. I work out all the time, but at that age, I was working out, and I think I was at home cooking or washing dishes. I was doing something like that, and I hear 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, what is going on? And this child is doing push-ups on water bottles.
On water bottles.
The case of water that you buy. She is 3 or 4 doing push-ups.
But she was 2 or 3.
And from that moment, from that moment, I was like, she's going to be our athlete.
Yep. And we watched them. We didn't push it on her. We just watched. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Yep. And she does. And then we got one. She's a ballerina. She's a dancer from the beginning. That's what she wants to do. And so we nurtured that. We watched it, put her in and see if she really wants to do it. And we see her practicing and doing those types of things. So we nurtured that type of thing within them. And so we give them an opportunity to to see what's in them before we kind of direct them down the path, not the traditional path that somebody else may take. You know, if that's something they want to do, we want to support them
Right.
100% if that's where they're going.
Right, right. And even, you know, in that support, you know, it doesn't take finances all the time. It could be your words and how you pour over them, because they may not even see that gifting that God is showing you as their parent to see. So remember, we're getting back to the basics. We're getting back to the basics of the family. We're getting back to the basics of knowing our kids and how we can groom our kids. So that's very important.
Yep, speaking life into them.
Yeah.
Especially when you see something that they may not see, something that they may not know, and you can just call it out and say, "Hey, I noticed when this happens, you feel like this, or you operate this way," and just let them know. And then they may or may not agree with you, but then we give them that space to say it. You know, say, "Well, I don't really feel like that, Mom." It's okay, and you just watch. You know, but then as they continue to grow, continue to walk, we say, "Okay, we see it. You know, God will give us what we need in order to pour into them,
Yes.
and give us that wisdom and to direct them in the way they should go." So I think that's one of the ways that we definitely do something different.
Especially when you're dealing with strong-willed
Yes,
kids like ours.
yes, because they have strong-willed parents.
Yes, they do.
Yes,
Yes, they do.
that would be us. Strong, hard-headed, sometimes parents. So we know that that's what they're going to be. I think another way that we did something different versus the traditional. It was more traditional than what it was non-traditional. You know, we decided that early on, my wife would stay home and take care of the children while I went to work, and that was a conscious decision and effort that we had, that we wanted to pour into our children initially.
And actually, I brought the idea to you.
You sure did. She brought it up, and I was like, "Oh, that's what you want to do? Yeah, I'm fine with that." Where she used that time to really pour into our kids initially, and then once they were of school age, you know, she would go to work, and that's what happened. However, that walk.
Yeah, that didn't pan over too well with my family. You know, that was a tough season.
Yes.
That was a tough season of life for me, actually for us, because he felt it. I mean, my parents was like, "Yes, I have a college degree, and you did all this stuff with your college degree, and you're going to sit at home." Well, I'm not just sitting at home.
Right.
You know, I'm actually pouring into my kids. You know, because, and I say this all the time, you know, my kids are not going to be the ones that's going to cuss you out.
Nope.
You know, they're not going to do that because I took out the time to sit and to nurture women, you know, to groom beautiful, respectful young women. And we're seeing the results. We're seeing the fruit of our labor.
Absolutely. And it took a while, you know, because initially she didn't see it. And she would be like, you know, I should be they say I need to be working, I need to be doing this, I need to be doing that. And I say, just wait. And like clockwork, we go out to eat as a family, we go anywhere, and the first thing that they say is, "Your children are so well behaved. Yeah, they're so this and they're so that."
You remember we had a couple wanted to move away from us when they first saw us come in?
Yep.
At a restaurant?
Yep, they sure did. We were at Cracker Barrel. I think it was Cracker Barrel. And they were like, "Yeah, we were going to move, but your children are so well behaved." Oh,
you know
my
what?
gosh.
Let's hold that thought. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You know, as you were saying about the girls, right?
Yep.
At Cracker Barrel.
Yep. And they were literally going to move away. And they came to us later and were like, "We were going to move, but your children were so well behaved." And they were younger. Like, they weren't like 17, 18 like they are. I mean, 17. Ooh, don't say 18.
No.
Ooh, Jesus. Ooh. They were like younger, like 8, 10, 12. And they were like, they are so well behaved. We've seen kids come in here and just scream and yell, and we can't sit next to them anymore. So I told her, I said, "See, this is when you get the fruits, the benefits of your labor and your sacrifice that we made initially.
And it was a sacrifice.
Yep, that we made initially in order for us to really pour into our children.
Yeah, and it became something I heard not only from like, my parents, but like grandparents and aunts and uncles, and and then it got to, well, they don't have no money because Shanavia isn't working. We were doing pretty good, be off one salary. But we knew it was going to be a sacrifice. But it was a decision that we decided to make. We didn't follow tradition.
Right.
We followed what we thought was going to work for us.
Yep.
And it worked.
Absolutely.
We have beautiful children.
Yep.
But what about those things that are passed down to us? Those generational curses that are passed down to us? Some people don't think they're real.
That is true.
Some people just say, this is just the way I am.
Or the way we are.
Or the way we are. Or, but I believe generational curses can be broken.
Absolutely.
If you wanted to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The mantra that this is just how we are, I think is a cop-out. It's just me. We known to be hot-headed. That's not something that you can't change or can't be controlled, right? So I think that's just something that people say to excuse the behavior, right? It has been going on for generation. You have generations of alcoholism, generations of this and generations of
abuse,
that, of abuse, and all that stuff.
The generation of depression.
Depression, right.
Generational curses of overeating.
Yep.
Even like undereating.
Yep.
They're all time, but that's just what our family does.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, that doesn't have to be, right? It takes one person or one generation or one person within the generation to stop the generational curse or to change it, to do something different, right?
But what is it? Maybe somebody doesn't know exactly what a generational curse is. It's like bondage.
Yeah, it's a bondage that is consistently
keeps happening from generation to generation.
Absolutely, absolutely, whatever that may be. There may be some unforgiveness in there.
That's true.
Brought that back up. That is constantly, we just that type of family, but if it's something negative that needs to be changed, and it can be changed, right? It just has to take one person to do it. Right.
And that may just be as simple as forgiving someone. It may be, and I'm gonna say easy, but it may just be that simple.
Yep. Or
just
maybe
to forgive somebody.
Or to make a change.
Make a change. That's all.
Just to make a change.
But you have to make that decision.
Yep.
To make that change.
You have to make that choice. I'm not going to be like this. Like, I don't like what I see, right? I don't like
how this feels.
Yeah, I don't like how this
feels.
This look. Right. I don't like my family doing like this. No, you have the opportunity. You have the ability. We have the ability to make that change. I say it's easy, but it's necessary. I believe it's worth it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? To get to where you're trying to be as your family.
Yeah. And that's part of experiencing Eden, by breaking those generational curses. You don't want to be an alcoholic because you see your father as an alcoholic. You have the power to change that. And one way of changing that is by getting in the Word of God. Seeking His Word, finding answers, praying. Just connecting with Him to make those changes.
Absolutely. Because He's the one who changes, right? And we decide we want to change. He then comes in and aids us in that migration. But it's something that we have to choose, right? I'm not going to continue. My family would not continue to be, a family of deadbeat dads or a family of unfit mothers or, whatever that may be. It's not something that I'm going to do now. I'm going to make that choice to change.
Right, and then even in that, when you make that choice to change, surround yourself around people, around a community of people that can help you make that change, that can help support you and hold you accountable to those changes that you want to make.
Yeah, you need like-minded people. Birds of a feather flock together. That's been the mantra for a long time, and that's true.
Because that's my boy.
Right.
I don't want to.
It is what it is.
Because it's my boy, I don't want to let him go.
Like I said, it is what it is. You either get with me or get gone. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're trying to level up on where you are, right? Talking about the family. You want something different. I know that's one thing for me. I wanted something different. And I remember when I graduated high school, even before I graduated, I was like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving Gary, and I'm not coming back. I said, I do not want to grow up in the hood. I lived in the hood all my life, and I'm out. And I'm leaving. And that's what I did. I mean, I decided, not saying nothing wrong with what it is. It is what it is. But I wanted something different. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do all these things. And I was like, I don't see how I can do that from here. Not saying it couldn't be done, but I couldn't see it in my mind's eye. So I left, went to Alabama, and ain't been home since. I ain't lived, at home since. Other than I lived in Chicago for a while, but I definitely made that decision that I wanted to do something different, and it's panned out, according to what God wants to happen. So far, so good.
Yeah, even in that, there's this is a big one, like generational wealth. Many times, we see wealth being something that's passed down, money being passed down, but we don't see that a lot in our community.
Because we ain't got none. As a generation, we're talking as a whole. Our people, from what I can see, didn't have it to pass down. And what they did pass down, being educated in that realm was lacking, right? So now that's what we're doing now, learning about those types of things. So then we can now create a legacy to pass down and leave for the Munchkins to come up and then have wealth, and we can leave for generations upon generations upon generations. But as a whole, our community is not something that's prevalent,
right?
Unfortunately.
Right. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We were just talking about generational curses and generational wealth. How it's passed down. But what about raising kids in 2020?
Oh.
It's been tough.
Hey, you didn't know what that is. She didn't know what that is. Oh, what? You gotta raising kids in 2020.
I didn't want to do it because the kids always say I do it wrong.
You gotta learn how to raise them. You like it. You like it. Yeah, but absolutely. Raising the kids in 2020 is definitely different than raising them when we came up. I mean,
they're faced with things that we were not faced
absolutely
with.
Not.
The challenges of raising kids is tough.
It's different.
Just from what they see at school or hear at school. It's different. It's a challenge. I'll put it that way.
Yep.
It's definitely a challenge. I know many nights we have to, let's wait on that conversation so we can talk it through.
Yep. I mean, because as we talked about earlier, we have a kind of open conversation family dynamic, right? So whatever's on their mind, we'll talk about it. We encourage them to come talk to us. And some of the things they come with, sometimes we be like, let me and mommy talk about that right now, and then we'll come back to discuss with you guys, because some of the things they face with is just not things that we even dream of having to deal with while they're in school at this age, at the ages that they are right now.
Right, and I mean, one of those things, it's like homosexuality, and that's a big things our kids are being faced with in 2020.
Absolutely, and we talk to them about it. Like we talk through it with them, and what do they think? What do they feel? Of course, we communicate what Scripture says and what that means for them. And I mean, I think the biggest thing with them is being able to have that open communication, and they are able to voice what they feel and what they have on their mind at that time. I think if we hadn't established that from the beginning, we probably would never hear a lot of the stuff that we hear.
Yes. Yes. So I mean, we try to give them that open space to have, any type of conversation with us, even on the topic of sex. One of the things our parents, they've shown away from having those conversations with us, and they're needed conversations. But we've allowed, like you said, the open door, and we've been up front. So I give like the book version of sex talks, and he gives.
I give the daddy version. Daddy version is a whole different version than mommy's version. Mommy's version is, the
and
normal.
they have to wait till they're like, what, 13,
Yeah, they be
14.
13.
And it's done in layers. The
before
daddy's version.
Yeah, they have a 13 conversation, then they have a 16 conversation, then they have an 18-year-old conversation. It's just, I guess I have girls. I'm a dad girl. I'm a girl dad.
Really?
I'm a girl dad. Girl dad, my bad. I don't know. What I say, dad girl?
Yes.
That ain't what I meant. I'm a girl dad. And so I have all girls. And so I think it's very important for them to have me communicate to them in those areas to understand from a male's perspective what they're facing. And I tell them all the game. I said, Daddy made the game before the game was a game. I said, so I know what these little knuckleheads are talking about and what they feeling and all the game they trying to run and all this stuff. But to also give them value and know that they are more than just their body, right? That they are so much more than just their body. And granted, the little knuckleheads is running after them. That's all they see currently right now because they're full of testosterone and all over the place. But to know that they are valued more than that and how to navigate this part of life without being caught up in the wrong situation at the wrong time,
Yeah,
right?
and the thing I don't like about the daddy-daughter talk is that they will not tell me what he says. And he won't tell me either. He's like, no, that's just between me and him. I want to know. I want to know. And he knows what I'm saying to them, but he will not share what he says to them. But it pays off. And our oldest shared with us one time that, a guy asked, he say,
Yes.
can I have your number?
Can we
date?
That's
yeah,
it.
he said, can we date?
Can we date? Yeah.
And she said, well, you got to ask my daddy first.
Yes.
Like, it's working.
Yes.
It's paying.
Like she came home with it, but I got to say, she came home and she said, Dad, I have to tell you something. I said, what? And she said, a boy came to me. Now, mind you, this is the best part. Like, she didn't even tell her. Like, she came straight to me. Like, it was like, Dad. And I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, what's up? She said, I had a boy come to me and say he wanted to date me. I was like, okay. I said, of course, my heart is going. So I said, so what'd you tell him? She said, I told him he had to talk to you. I was like, my girl. I said, yes, that's the exact answer we had to say. But then since then, is a very open conversation with them. Like they know, I tell them that, somebody mess with my daughters, I kill them, which I am honestly true. I probably would, but not really, but I probably would. But that open communication and raising them where they're able to come and talk to me, able to have that open conversation versus when I grew up, I said sex 3 times, I guess, in the house, and everything was like, oh my God, no, you don't do this, and blah, blah. You're right. Yeah. It was such negative connotation to it, and that affected me. And so I was like, we didn't want that for our girls.
And I think that's something we started from the beginning when we decided to have the open door policy. Bedroom doors stay open.
Yes, they do.
There's no shutting the door unless, they're changing clothes or whatnot. But that's the open door policy we have so that they feel comfortable sharing those things.
Right.
Because I don't think I would have went to my dad and say, hey, this guy want to date me.
Yeah. Because I just told him, I just said, I'm here. My role is to protect you. I love you and I care for you. And I just want to know. I'm not going to spaz out and go crazy or anything, but I just wanted you to have that. I wanted to have that conversation, that open door with them that I necessarily didn't get. And so far, so good. Number 2, the jury's still out on number 2 right now, but definitely number 1 we're in now. Still waiting about number 2.
So yes, parents, raising your kids, it's a tough thing to do in 2020.
Absolutely.
But it can definitely be done. You have to take the time out to nurture those times. Set up boundaries, with your kids. Set those boundaries up and just have those needed and necessary conversations. We'll be right back.
Let's be honest. Making a lukewarm marketing video is fairly simple. But who wants lukewarm marketing? Instead, how about something that conveys your unique message? Well, that takes creativity, and creative is what we are. We design custom logos. We even offer professional print services. Our goal is to showcase how good your idea is, no matter what your product is. Whether it's social media marketing for a new author or the artwork for the book itself, we can help. You've created a new app and need a TV commercial to show it to the world. We can help.
Now there's Stork Advisor.
If you're a photographer trying to show off your work in a unique way, we can help. Need a promo for your TV show? We can help with that too.
It's Couch Time with Sonia.
We're an artistic bunch and we love the creative process. We're not trying to be the best in Houston. We're trying to be the best for you.
So glad that you decided to join us for our family episode. We hope that you were able to just connect and just learn something about family.
Yeah.
We pretty much just invited you into our family.
Yeah.
So please connect with us. Go to ShanaviaPortis.com and we'll see you next week. Until then, let's get back to the basics.